My name is Claire. My story is about my husband, Frank, and a door. It is a locked door. This small thing became a big part of our life. I work in the morning. I start work very early when it is still dark outside. My husband, Frank, works in the afternoon and evening. He usually comes home very late at night, around 2 in the morning. Because of our different work times, I am often alone in our house at night. The house can be very quiet. Sometimes it is too quiet and I feel a little nervous. When I am alone in the evening, I spend time in the bedroom. I like to watch TV or read a book there. While I am in the bedroom alone, I lock the door. I do this because I sometimes hear noises in the house. These are often small noises. Maybe the old wooden floor makes a sound. Maybe the refrigerator makes a strange noise. Or one of our 2 cats, Mittens or Patches, makes a noise in another room. Before I started locking the door, I would get up when I heard a noise. I would walk through the dark house to check. My heart would beat fast. It was always just a cat, or the wind, or the house itself making sounds. I got tired of feeling nervous and checking every time. So, I started to lock the bedroom door. This helped me feel safer. If I hear a noise now, I can tell myself, it is just a normal noise. I am safe here in the bedroom with the door locked. It feels like a barrier between me and any strange sound outside the room. This habit helps me feel calm and relax when I am alone at night. I do not lock the door for the whole night. Before I am ready to go to sleep properly, I always unlock the door. My husband, Frank, comes home very late from work. He needs to be able to come into the bedroom to sleep. He is usually very tired and just wants to come to bed. Unlocking the door is the last thing I do before I go to sleep. This is our normal routine. I explained to Frank why I lock the door one time. I told him it is because I am alone and it makes me feel safe from noises outside the room. He seemed to understand. He just said, "Okay, if it makes you feel better." He did not seem to think it was strange or a problem. This was our life. My quiet evenings, the sounds of the house, the locked door for my feeling of safety, and unlocking it for Frank when he came home late. It seemed like a simple thing. I did not know that this simple habit, the locked door, would become a big problem for us later. 2. An early return. One evening I was in the bedroom. The door was locked. I was relaxing on the bed. I was watching television. The air conditioner was on. It made a soft, blowing sound. My cat, Mittens, was comfortable on my lap, purring. My other cat, Patches, was asleep on the end of the sofa. I felt very comfortable and safe in my own little world, just me and my cats and the TV show. It was a quiet, peaceful night like many others. Then, something not usual happened. Frank came home. He came home very early that night. He came home hours before the normal time he usually arrived. I found out later his job was very slow, so they told some people to leave and go home early. I did not expect him at all. I did not hear him come into the house through the front door. The television was a little loud. The air conditioner made its noise. These sounds were normal for the evening. Frank must have walked quietly through the living room towards the bedroom door. Then I heard a sound at the bedroom door. Click, jiggle. He was trying the doorknob. It was locked. This sound was not normal. It was different. Frank, I thought, is that you? Home so early tonight? Why is he trying the door? Mittens jumped off my lap quickly because I moved. I stopped the television with the remote control. The room suddenly felt more quiet without the TV sound. It took me a few seconds. I needed to get up from the comfortable bed where I was sitting and relaxing. It was just a few normal seconds to stand up and walk to the door. I called out towards the door, "Just a minute, Frank." I walked the short distance to the door. I turned the lock to open it. I opened the door fully. Frank was standing right there in front of me. He did not look happy at all. His face was not soft and tired like usual when he came home late from work. It was hard. His eyes looked narrow and serious. He looked like he was not happy to see the door was locked when he tried it. He asked me a question immediately. His voice was not soft either. It was sharp and strong. "Why was the bedroom door locked, Claire?" he asked me. I was very surprised by how he looked and how he spoke to me. This was not the usual, gentle Frank I knew when he came home late at night. It felt strange and sudden, like the peace of the evening was broken. 3. A new doubt. I was surprised when Frank asked that. "I always lock it when I am alone in here," I said. I tried to sound calm. "You know that. I lock it for safety because sometimes I hear noises." It was my usual reason. It was the truth. But Frank did not look like he believed me. He just looked at me. "But I am home now, and the door was locked. You did not open it right away." His eyes were narrow. "What were you doing in here? What were you hiding?" The word hiding felt very cold. It made me feel bad. "I was not hiding anything," I said. My voice was a little stronger now. "I was just watching TV. Mittens was on my lap." Mittens is one of our cats. "I did not hear you come in." It took me just a second to get up and open the door. That is all. He did not look happy. He stepped into the bedroom. He looked around the room. He looked behind the door and near the window. It was like he was looking for someone. My heart started to beat faster, but not from fear of noises. It was a new feeling, a bad feeling. "So you just lock yourself in here?" he asked. He crossed his arms. "For hours." "Yes," I said again, "like I told you before. It helps me feel safe when I am by myself." "Safe from what, Claire?" he asked quickly. His voice was sharp. "From me. Are you locking the door to keep me out?" "No," I said. My face felt warm. "Not from you, from a stranger. If someone came into the house. It is just a habit I started. When I go to sleep later, I always unlock it so you can come in." He shook his head slowly. "It is strange, Claire. You were not at the door instantly. I was comfortable on the bed. The TV was on. I did not expect you home so early." My voice was getting louder. I did not want it to. He did not say more. He just changed his clothes. He sat on the edge of the bed. He did not look at me. The air in the room felt thick and heavy. The funny TV show was forgotten. The purring cat was forgotten. There was only this new, ugly feeling between us. He thought I was hiding something from him. My Frank, the man I loved, did not trust me. And it all started because of the simple, locked door. That night, when we finally went to sleep, there was a space between us in the bed. A cold space. And the door, even though it was unlocked, felt like it was still a wall between us. The cold days, the days that came after, were not good days. Frank was very quiet, and he seemed distant from me. The silence between us felt cold. He looked at me with his eyes, and they were full of suspicion. It felt like he was always thinking bad thoughts about me, even when he didn't say anything. His looks made me feel uncomfortable and watched. Sometimes he made comments about the locked door. They were not kind words. They were sarcastic comments that hurt me. When he left for work, he might say something like, "Have fun in your locked room, Claire." His voice was sharp, not soft. It felt like he was mocking me because of what happened. These comments made the cold feeling between us even worse. I felt very lonely in the house. It felt like I was alone even when Frank was there. The air in our home felt heavy and full of his doubt. I missed the time when our house felt warm and safe, and when Frank and I were close. I missed my old Frank, the one who trusted me without question and smiled easily. To escape this cold and lonely feeling, I started going out after work. Instead of going straight home, I would go to a small coffee shop near my job. It was a quiet place with soft music. I would sit at a table, drink a warm cup of coffee, and read a book or just look out the window. It was a place where I could feel a little peace. It was a break from the house that felt full of Frank's suspicion. I needed to breathe air that was not heavy with his doubts about me. One afternoon, while I was sitting there, a man at a table nearby looked at me and smiled. He had friendly, kind eyes. He asked if he could sit at my table for a few minutes. I said yes, it was okay. He told me his name was Leo. We talked for a short time, maybe 10 minutes. We talked about small, simple things. We talked about the good smell of coffee, about books we liked, and about the weather outside. He was very easy to talk to and very friendly. It felt nice to have a simple conversation with someone who looked at me with simple kindness, not with suspicion in their eyes. The chat with Leo was very short and completely innocent. It was just two people being friendly in a public place. It meant nothing more than that. But I decided not to tell Frank about meeting Leo. I felt a fear inside me. I was scared that Frank would misunderstand our simple conversation. I was scared he would think it was something more, something bad. His suspicion about the locked door was already so big and difficult. I worried that telling him about Leo, even though it was nothing, would make his doubts even stronger. So I kept this small meeting a secret because I was afraid of how Frank would react and what he would think. 5 more doubts. I saw Leo at the coffee shop a few more times. It was not every day, just sometimes. We said hello. Sometimes we talked for a few minutes. He said he was a writer. I told him I worked at a bakery. We talked about simple things. It was very friendly and nothing more. But at home, Frank was still suspicious. His questions were strange. He asked where I had been. He asked who I talked to. One day, he picked up my phone when I was not there. He said he just checked the time, but I knew he was looking at my messages. My heart felt heavy. The locked bedroom door was still a problem. Sometimes Frank came home and the door was unlocked. He would make a sarcastic comment. It was like a small, sharp knife every time. One evening, Frank came home early again. It was about 10 o'clock. There was a problem at his work, so they sent people home. I was in the bedroom reading a book. The door was locked. I had the window open a little to let in fresh air. Frank knocked. I heard him and got up quickly. I unlocked the door. I tried to smile. "Hi," I said. "You are home very early." He looked into the room, not at me. His eyes looked everywhere. "Just reading?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "Why?" He saw the open window. "The window is open," he said slowly. His voice was cold. "Were you waiting for fresh air or for someone else?" I felt a sudden pain in my chest. "Frank, how can you say that?" I said. "It is a warm night. I opened it for air. The air conditioner is loud." He did not say sorry. He just looked at me with his cold, suspicious eyes. "Right," he said. I wanted to cry. I did not understand why he thought these terrible things about me. That night, I felt very far away from him in the bed. His suspicion felt like a dirty thing between us. 6. A big mistake. One afternoon, I went to the coffee shop. I felt very sad inside. My heart was heavy because of Frank's doubts. I sat at my table and ordered coffee. I thought about our home, which felt cold now. I looked at my coffee and some tears came to my eyes. I tried to hide them. Leo was there. He saw I was upset. He walked to my table. "Hey, Claire," he said softly. "You look unhappy today." I quickly wiped my eyes. "I'm okay," I said, but my voice was not strong. Leo looked kind. He pulled up a chair for a moment. "Sometimes talking helps," he offered. I didn't want to share my problems with Frank. I just shook my head. He seemed to understand. He reached out his hand. He put it gently on my arm for just a moment. It was a friendly, comforting touch. "I hope you feel better," he said. Then he went back to his laptop. I did not see Frank's cousin, Sarah. She was sitting in a quiet corner of the coffee shop. She saw Leo come to my table. She saw him put his hand on my arm. She did not hear what we said. Later that day, Sarah called Frank. She told him she saw me with a man in the coffee shop. She told him the man touched me. She did not tell Frank that I looked sad or that the touch was quick and friendly. She told Frank a story that was not completely true. She twisted it. When Frank came home from work, he was not like my husband. He was full of anger. He did not even wait for me to speak. He started shouting right away. "So," he yelled, "this is why you lock the door. This is who you are hiding." I was shocked. "What are you talking about?" I asked, feeling scared. "Don't lie to me, Claire," he shouted. "Sarah saw you at the coffee shop with the man. He was touching you." My mind went to Leo. "Leo," I said. "He just came over for a second." I was sad and he was being kind. That's all. Frank did not listen. His eyes were hard. "Kind," he said loudly. "Touching your arm, Sarah said it looked like more than kind." He said terrible things. He accused me of having a secret life. He said the man was my lover. "No, Frank, that's not true," I cried. "You are making a big mistake. It was nothing bad." We started shouting. I tried to explain what really happened, but his anger was too strong. He only heard Sarah's twisted story. We had a terrible fight. Hurtful words came out. He kept accusing me, and I kept trying to tell the truth. But he did not believe me. The simple, friendly touch from Leo became the biggest problem. It made Frank's suspicion explode. The fight felt like the end of everything between us. I felt completely alone with his anger. 7, I leave home. After our big fight about Leo, something inside me felt very tired. Frank still did not believe me. He kept asking questions. He asked what Leo looked like and what we talked about. He even asked if Leo came to our house when Frank was at work. This idea was very bad to me. It was not true at all. I felt like I could not think straight. I stopped going to the coffee shop. I was afraid someone would see me and tell Frank more untrue stories. I stayed home after work. The house was quiet and empty. In the evening, I still locked the bedroom door, but now it felt different. It felt like I was locking myself away from Frank's anger and his terrible thoughts about me. One night, Frank came home. I was in bed, pretending to be asleep. I had unlocked the door for him. He came into the room. He did not turn on the light. He just stood there for a long time. I could feel him watching me in the dark. Then he said very quietly that he did not know who I was anymore. His words hurt me very much. They were like a sharp knife. I turned to face the wall. Tears came from my eyes silently onto my pillow. I thought, who is he? This angry man is not the Frank I married. The next morning, I knew I could not stay. Frank was asleep after his night shift. I took a small bag. I put only a few clothes inside. I did not know exactly where I would go. Maybe to my sister's house in another town. I just knew I had to leave this house today. I could not live with the suspicion for one more hour. I wrote a short note. I put my feelings into simple words. I told Frank that I could not live like this. I wrote that the door was never locked against him. I wrote that his not trusting me was why the door felt locked for him now. I said I had never hidden anything from him. I told him I had to go away for a while. I needed time to think. I left the note on the kitchen table. I looked at our wedding photo on the wall. We were smiling in the picture. We looked very happy. We looked like we trusted each other completely. My heart felt very heavy. I walked to the front door. I walked out of the house. I left the key on the inside. I did not lock the door behind me. It felt like there was nothing left to protect anymore. Our marriage felt broken. 8. A new start. Claire stayed at her sister Clara's house. She stayed for 1 week. Clara was kind. She listened to Claire and gave her hugs. Claire cried many times. She felt very sad and also angry. She missed Frank, the husband she knew before. But the new Frank, full of bad thoughts, had hurt her feelings deeply. The phone was silent for the first few days. Frank did not call or send messages. Claire thought maybe he was happy she had left. Maybe he really believed she had gone to meet someone else. This thought made her feel sick inside. Then, on the 5th day she was away, Frank called. His voice was not angry. It was quiet and sounded like he felt sorry. Claire said hello quietly. There was a long time with no talking. Then Frank said the house was too quiet without her. He said the cats missed her too. He told her he read the note she left many times. He said his cousin Sarah had called him. Sarah told him that she had made the story about the coffee shop sound worse than it was. Sarah said Claire looked sad, and Leo, the man, just tried to be nice and comfort her. Sarah said she felt bad that she had caused problems. Frank said he knew now that it was nothing bad. He said he thought about things. He remembered Claire telling him a long time ago about locking the door because of noises when she was alone. He said he had forgotten, or maybe he did not want to remember when he was angry. He said he was wrong to think she was hiding something. He said he felt jealous, and he had made a false story in his head. He asked Claire if she would think about coming home. He said they needed to talk about everything honestly. He said he missed her very much, and he missed them together. Claire went home 2 days later. Frank was waiting for her. He looked like he had not slept well. He had bought yellow flowers, her favorite kind, and put them on the table. Coming home was not easy. Frank said, "I am sorry," many times. Claire knew it would take a long time to build trust again. Trust is like a glass that is broken. You can put the pieces together, but you can still see the lines where it broke. They talked for many hours that day. They talked for many days after too. Frank talked about things that worried him, things Claire did not know. Claire told him how much his suspicion had hurt her. She told him it made her feel caught and not understood. The bedroom door is still in their house. Sometimes, when Frank is at work and Claire is alone in the evening, she still locks it. It is a habit that is difficult to stop. It still makes her feel safe from the outside world. But now, Frank knows why she locks it. Sometimes, he sends her a text message that says, "Door locked. I hope you feel safe, my love, thinking of you." And when Claire gets ready for bed, she always unlocks the door. She unlocks it so Frank can come into the room. The space between them in the bed is smaller now. Sometimes, during the night, he takes her hand. It will need time, a lot of time. But maybe, just maybe, a locked door does not mean that people's hearts are locked. They are trying to find their way back to each other. One unlocked moment helps.